Alright, welcome to the Module 3 Practice Test 2 video part 2. We went through the first 8 questions in the first video, and we will continue from where we left off. Looking at number 9, if f of x is equal to 3 to the x and g of x is equal to 2x plus 5, at which value of x is f of x less than g of x? This is similar to a question we already did where we had to figure out where they were equal. We're going to put f of x into y1, g of x into y2, and then we will look at our table and look at the x value that goes along with where y1 column is less than the y2 column. So here we go. Plugging it in, f of x is 3 to the x. G of x, 2x plus 5. Going to my table now. We can look at the specific values that they've asked us and given us as answer options. So choice 1 is -1. When I look here when x is -1, I see I see a 0.3 and a 3. Is 0.3 less than 3? Yep. But to verify, good test taking skills means you verify all your other answer options. The answer choice 2 says 2. 9 is equal to 9, not greater than 9. And then -3.03 is actually greater than the -1, so that's not right. And then when x is 4, 81 is greater than 13, that is also not correct. So choice 1. Number 10. The function b of t equals 1,350 times 1.017 to the t represents the value b of t in dollars of the comic book t years after it is purchased. The yearly rate of appreciation of the comic book is. Looking at the setup and having words like yearly rate of appreciation, that needs to make you think of exponential functions. Appreciation means a positive thing, so it's exponential growth. And because of that terminology, it also should make you think of that formula where it's a times the 1 plus r to the t. So this number here in my formula, a is the start, that's the 1350, but that number inside the parentheses, that's coming from this 1 plus r. So whatever r is, when I added it to 1, I got 1.017. So we're going to use that to unearth our rate of growth. So 1 plus r is equal to 1.017. From here, we would solve for r. To do that, we'll start by subtracting 1. That means r is equal to 0.017. So now, also recalling, when we went to go put r into our formula, we had to take whatever the percentage was and divide by 100 before we plugged it in. That is what we have here with the 0.17. So to undo that and put it back into its original form, we just multiply by 100, which moves our decimal 2 places to the right. So it's 1.7%. Next page. Alicia has invented a new app for smartphones that 2 companies are interested in purchasing for a 2-year contract. Company A is offering her $10,000 for the first month and will increase the amount each month by $5,000. Company B is offering $500 for the first month and will double their payment each month from the previous month. Monthly payments are made at the end of each month. For which monthly payment will Company B's payment first exceed Company A's? So, initial amount and increasing by $5,000 each month. Same amount every time. This one is linear. So if you recall, it's what we change by for the slope, and then the initial amount for the y-intercept. And we need to recall that the first month for both of these is x equals 0 when we look at our table. Company B getting $500 for the first month and doubling the payment each month. That is exponential. So that's our y equals a times b to the x. A is our start. B is what we do with the money each time, and it's doubling, so multiplying by 2. And again, the first month is when x is equal to 0. So we are going to go to our calculator now and determine the solution. Coming to my y equals, I want to know when company B first exceeds company A. So we're going to be looking at our y1 and y2 columns to see when y2 gets bigger than y1. Checking my table. So x equals 0, that's my first month. And then second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth, seventh, eighth. So it is the 8th month because in our table 0 was my first month. Alright, so I just quickly copied it back out of the table. So you can see first month is where x equals 0, and then the second month would be here at 1, and then third month, fourth month at 3, fifth month at 4, sixth month at 5, seventh month at 6, and then 8th month at 7. Number 12. Each day, Tony records the height of a plant in her science lab. Her data are shown in the table below. The plant continues to grow at a constant daily rate. Write an equation to represent h of n, the height of the plant, on the nth day. This right here should tell you exactly what kind of function you need. Constant daily rate. There's only one type of function we've talked about that does that, and that is linear. So I'm putting the h of n equals, because that's what they've asked me to write the equation to be, and now I'm going to use my calculator. L1, L2. Where do we get our linear function? Stat. Cal number 4 says linear regression. Alright, so going into my stat key. Going to edit. Clear L1 and L2. L1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. L2, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5, and 9. Then we do stat calc 4 for the linear regression. And it tells me 1.5 for A. We're using n instead of x for this, as the instruction said, and 1.5 for B. That question is done. John and Sarah are each saving money for a car. The total amount of money John will save is given by the function f of x equals 60 plus 5x. The total amount of money Sarah will save is given by the function x squared plus 46. After how many weeks will they have the same amount of money saved, and explain how you arrived at your answer. We have a few ways that we can do this. We can do it algebraically, and we can show them, for the same amount of money, that means they have to be equal. So algebraically, we could set x squared plus 46 equal to 60 plus 5x. We could also use our calculators. So I'm going to let y1 equals 60 plus 5x and y2 equal x squared plus 46. Come into my calculator. y1, 60 plus 5x. And y2, x squared plus 46. So even with our calculators, there's the potential that we have a few things that we have to look at. So first, before I continue writing anything down, I'm going to take a look first at the graph. Not really seeing anything. I don't know why. So I'm going to try a zoom 3, see what happens. Still not seeing everything. So what I'm going to try now is zoom and number 0. Zoom fit. I'm going to change it so I really can see the picture. See it's intersecting in two places because the y2 is the parabola. So now I've got to go figure out where this is, and I'm going to go back to the standard zoom, which is zoom 6. And because of the values of this, I'm not being able to actually see it on my graph. So I'm going to try, without having to do a lot of manipulation of the window, so I'm going to try the table. We are talking about a number of weeks. Does it make sense to find the negative solution if we're talking about a number of weeks? No. So now looking at my positive x values, do I have anywhere in the table where I see equal numbers? And I found it right here. So from here, I'm checking the table. And I'm just going to copy a couple of values out. So an x is 6. y1 said 90, y2 says 82. And then when x is 7, they both say 95. And so from there, I determined that it was 7 weeks. And that's enough to have found the answer and explained how I arrived there. We're going to stop at this point. Keep your eye out for a part 3 video.